Do you know what she did? Your canting daughter?
Welcome to my channel Fada. Horror genre has a huge fan base. Who doesn't like to watch a good horror movie? Let's dive in and take a look at the scariest movies ever made. Beware. Number 1 on the list is The Shining. Dozens of Stephen King's novels and stories have been adapted for the big screen, but the mother of them all is easily Stanley Kubrick's adaptation of The Shining.
What good's a few minutes more gonna do you now?
Stay with me. Please.
Jack Nicholson is iconic as Jack Torrance, the struggling writer who accepts a job as a winter caretaker for the Overlook Hotel in the Colorado Mountains. The knowledge that the previous caretaker had gone insane and murdered his family fails to scare Jack away. But when both Jack and his physically attuned son begin communing with many spirits haunting the Overlook, things quickly take a turn for the worse. Deadly hedge mazes, elevators full of blood, and the terrifying Room 237 are only some of the horrors that await viewers. Nothing can beat this. Number 2 on the list is The Exorcist. Tubular Bells is the scariest music arrangement ever made. We hear it and we are shaking in our boots, equivalent of Pavlov's dog.
Who once and for all consigned that fallen tyrant to the flames of hell, who sent your only begotten Son into the world to crush that roaring lion.
The movie's premise, a little girl possessed by a demon, is scary enough as words on paper, but what director William Friedkin does with it proves that he has a seriously strong constitution for this sort of stuff, is treat the extraordinary of it all as if it were really happening next door to us. The demon that comes from the Exorcist interpretation of that idea is something very powerful, something that can't be shot or stabbed or detonated. Number 3 on the list is Halloween. Take an instantly identifiable holiday, add in a chillingly silent, unstoppable masked killer and a feisty, resourceful heroine, and you got Halloween. Halloween is frequently cited as one of the earliest examples of the slasher genre as we know it today, and while it may not feature the same kind of realistic gore we have come to expect of films in that category, it packs a lot of tension and some inventive thrills in a relatively small-scale package. There is a reason the franchise is still going after more than 40 years. Number 4 on the list is Insidious, a supernatural horror film. This story centers on a married couple whose boy inexplicably enters a comatose stage and becomes a vessel for a variety of demonic entities.
I was at the piano and I could hear it on the monitor and I turned up the volume and
What the hell is that? Hold on. Stay here.
The film follows Josh and Renee Lambert, their sons and daughter, who all move into a new house and start to experience some strange occurrences until their son Dalton slips into a coma. They leave the house only to realize it's not the house with the problem. Insidious raised the standard of what it means to be frightened, especially in a haunted house. The movie brought nightmares to reality through the horrifying creatures and a house where horrific acts were committed to life. In fact, the film was enough of a success to warrant 4 sequels. As part of something called the Science of Scare project, it was determined that Sinister, Scott Derrickson's creepy 2012 chiller, is the scariest movie ever made. Released in 2012, Sinister has Ethan Hawke as a washed-up true crime writer who moves his family into a house that was once the scene of a grisly murder. While investigating the case, Hawke's character uncovers a trove of old film reels that contain supernaturally driven snuff films. It's an exceptionally well-made movie. Number 6 on the list is The Conjuring. It is the classiest, spookiest, most satisfying film in the franchise. The Conjuring subtly builds a mythology while telling a satisfying, terrifying, self-contained ghost story, with a standout performance from Lily Taylor as the matriarch whose pent-up anxieties become disturbing realities. James Wan took the operatic style he developed for the Insidious movies and this time uses it as a counterpoint to plausible, dramatic subtlety. It's Van's best film and a modern horror classic. Number 7 is Paranormal Activity. The story unfolds as a couple moves into a suburban home and learns they are being terrorized by a supernatural presence. It centers on a young couple who are haunted by a supernatural presence in their home. They then set up a camera to document what is haunting them. The filmmaking and storytelling may be up for debate, but audiences and critics agree that it will scare you senseless. Using its low-budget effects and mockumentary method to great result, Paranormal Activity turns a simple haunted house story into 90 minutes of relentless surprise. Evil Dead 2 is our next and final movie. It is more of a remix than a sequel. It improved on its predecessors in almost every way. More gore, more comedy, more of everything. Sam Raimi's Evil Dead 2 makes fun of the devil and demon possession. Although there are some really scary scenes, there are some really twisted, funny situations that would leave you wondering, what the F just happened? The movie is funny for the wrong reasons. I eventually don't laugh about when a man is breaking himself dishes on the head. I don't think it's funny when a man is repeatedly beaten up by evil characters. I would never imagine a man getting eaten by a demon locked under a cellar and throwing gallons of blood. Evil Dead 2 makes it look hilarious in a wicked kind of way. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked this video and don't forget to subscribe and comment your favorite horror movie down.